Hi guys, it is me, ChazzaHD, and welcome to the final race reaction of the final race and reacting to that Grand Prix. Wow, what an absolutely amazing conclusion to the Formula One season. And we are going to, in the best way I can, react to what happened there. Of course, this is the image at the very end of the Grand Prix. Max Verstappen winning his first world championship. He is the first Dutch world champion. Lewis Hamilton misses out on 8 world titles. And you never know, with the new era of Formula One coming up in 2022, that might be the chance for Hamilton to win his 8th championship, and that might be gone. We'll have to see what happens in the future, but that could be a defining moment in both of their careers. But wow, what a conclusion. For me, that is the best moment in Formula One history. There is no other moment for me that is up for debate. Just incredible. The racing we've seen this season and we saw on that final lap, absolutely brilliant. And yeah, for me also, probably the best or one of the best Formula One seasons of all time as well. Just absolutely incredible. Hopefully you guys have calmed down to a certain degree after that race, because that was a absolutely mental finish to the Grand Prix. And I will admit, me and Nib were very shaken from what happened on that final lap. And I'm even going to admit, honestly, when Max came through the final couple corners, you may have even heard it, but for some reason, I almost started crying. I was that shaken by what had happened. And I think maybe the emotion of, covering this battle all season long. I am also a pretty emotional person, so that's probably it as well. But yeah, I was very happy for Max. I mean, whoever won, honestly, doesn't matter, because the battle has been absolutely fantastic. But yeah, just absolutely fantastic. But of course, there is controversy to get into, and we will be getting into that very, very soon. But before we get on to anything, let's read out the final finishing order as it stands of the 2021 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. So Max Verstappen wins the race. He is the world champion of 2021. Lewis Hamilton finishes second. Carlos Sainz third. And then Valtteri Bottas 4th, Yuki Tsunoda 5th, Pierre Gasly 6th, Norris, Alonso, Leclerc and Vettel complete the rest of the top 10. And then your only other finishers are Ricciardo, Stroll and Schumacher. Ocon, Perez, Latifi, Giovinazzi, Russell, Raikkonen and Mazepin failed to finish the Grand Prix. So that is your final finishing order. Again, at the moment, for this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. I'm going to try, by the way, and include some more pictures during the stream, because I haven't been able to locate many pictures, because, partly been in shock, honestly, and there's not many pictures available, I think, because everyone is just busy talking, really, about what happened in that Grand Prix. So if I do bring up some new images, then do bear with me. But I think we'll start with, how it went between the two title rivals. So of course, at the start, Lewis Hamilton started second. Max Verstappen started on pole. Hamilton got exactly the start he got in 2014 when he won his second world championship. A fantastic start and easily got into the lead. Did have to hold off Max Verstappen at turn 7, turn 6, the entry to that chicane at the end of the first DRS zone. And yeah, I think Lewis did a good job avoiding Max Verstappen in that incident. I don't think, by the way, Hamilton should have been penalised, because I don't see what Lewis really could have done. I think Lewis did the right thing in avoiding an accident. So yeah, a good decision there by Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton, though, you have to say, after that, despite Sergio Perez and his best attempts to hold up Lewis Hamilton today, before the safety car stuff, Lewis Hamilton was the quickest driver without a doubt, today. He would have won that race by a country mile had it not been for that safety car. And he was heading for a world championship. We were even talking, me and Nib, during the race watch along stream, oh, looks as though it's over. What could Red Bull have done better? And then, of course, the safety car comes out. To be honest, the reason I brought that up is because I was kind of hoping that I would jinx myself, and I did. So there you go. That's a tip for me in the future. If I want to spice things up, I'll try and jinx myself on purpose. And yeah, safety car then came out, and then it looked as though we wouldn't get going again because the lapped cars, for some reason, were not being let through quick enough. There was a lap, I think it was lap 56, where the lapped cars should have been let through, but for some reason they were not. I don't know why. I'm going to assume it's because Michael Massey is incompetent, which I do believe, by the way, Michael Massey is incompetent. I've been saying this, by the way, for 2 years. This has got nothing to do... it's got something to do with, this season's championship battle, but I've been saying this really since 2019. Michael Massey is incompetent. He is out of his depth, and he should not be race director. He's not had enough experience in that role, in the FIA director type, role. Hasn't had enough experience, and it should be given to someone who has been around the block a few times. But it was given to him. And yeah, he has been pretty poor since he started in his job. And yeah, what he should have done is let the lap cars through normally. And then we could have got going again for the final lap. And, there wouldn't have been a commotion because Michael would have done his job. But let me just adjust this picture quickly of, what happened at the end, of course. Max crossing the line to win. There you go. Yeah, didn't let the lapped cars through quick enough. So then we had to wait until literally the penultimate lap to let through the lapped cars. But they only got 4 lapped cars through past Hamilton and Verstappen. The rest of the cars were held up behind Hamilton and Verstappen. And then apparently Toto Wolff on team radio said, you've not followed the correct procedure here. And then apparently in response, Michael Massey said, this is a motor race. We have to, basically get on with it and have a race. Basically confirming that he did not follow through with the correct safety car procedure / restart procedure. Which, if Mercedes want to take this any further, appeal the decision, appeal the results, whatever you want to call it, then, they've got a case, but honestly, it would be disappointing if this were to go into the off-season because it would ruin, I think, the moment that we've all just shared together of that thrilling final lap. And that final lap would have happened if Michael Massey could do his job and let the lapped cars through, the lap before that, it was supposed to happen. So Michael Massey 100% to blame for that. Just a very, very stupid decision on his behalf. But then, of course, 1 lap to go of the World Championship, and I even said it, I think, a week ago, how great would it be if it went down to the final few corners of the season, and that's exactly how it happened. It went down, and I'll just go back to, not that picture, this picture of Max and Lewis. It did go down to the final few corners. Max Verstappen, of course, on the soft. Lewis Hamilton on the hard compound tyre. Max did exactly what he needed to do. Dived down the inside at turn 5, got the move done. And then Lewis tried at turn 6, turn 7, turn 9 to get past. But Max had too much grip on the soft compound tyre and won the Grand Prix. Did Max deserve to win the race? No, he didn't. Lewis was quicker. Lewis drove better. But, the luck came in for Max Verstappen right at the right time. So that's what happened. And Max Verstappen, like I said, is just watching on the screen on the TV broadcast here, Lewis Hamilton. Don't know what was going on there. Yeah, Max Verstappen is now your first ever Dutch world champion. And given how good he is, that will be the first, the first of many. Max Verstappen will be winning, I think, a few more championships in his time. How many? That's up for debate, but it'll be more than one. That is for sure. But yeah, great season from Max. I do believe Max has been the best driver this season. He's had the most wins, most poles, I think, as well. Has Max Verstappen as well. So I think he has been the best driver this season. Yeah, there's been a couple races where Max didn't exactly show his best side, but I think Max Verstappen overall this season was the better driver and does deserve to win the World Championship. So congratulations to Max Verstappen. Commiserations to Hamilton. He was unlucky with how things happened, but I think Verstappen was the better driver this season, and I probably would have said that if Hamilton had won the championship, to be honest, because I do believe that Max has been the better driver overall this season, to be honest. But let me know, guys, right now in the live chat, what did you think of that final lap overtake? And secondly, maybe most importantly, what are your opinions of the lapped car situation? Should there be a review of the incident? Let me know. What do you think should happen in regards to that? And then we'll get on to the rest of the teams. We're not going to get on really to that many teams because there is only really one focus. I've only got pictures of like 3 or 4 other cars. So we're not going to be really talking about that much else in this stream. So yeah, let me know in the chat. What do you think of that last lap overtake? And what do you think of the controversy regarding the lapped car situation? Let me know in the live chat, and I'll make sure to read out your comments. And again, remember, like I said, at the end of the race watch along, towards the end of this stream, I will announce my plans for the winter. So that'll be coming in probably 20 minutes or so. Let's read the chat, shall we? Let's see where to start. Can the result change? Asks Sidway Slammed, because Merc could argue weaving on straight and not all lapped cars went past. Weaving on the straight, yes, not allowed, but normally that only gets a reprimand or a warning. And then, yeah, it's more so the lapped cars situation that could, And Max, by the way, I'm looking, Max only weaved, I think, twice, so it wasn't as bad as other situations. Let me look at some other comments here. Blue Flag Alpha. I screamed when Max won the race. Rooksfoot, sorry. You're such a Max fanboy, Kazza. Indeed. Ken Wallace says it's the most robbing moment in F1 history. Hamilton dominated him today. Massey has to go. Massey has to go no matter what happened today. He's terrible. We all know this. Dexter Hall says, Max had 0 chance of winning this race until the FIA intervened. I mean, the safety car did have to come out. Latifi, his car had to be cleared away, so just the way it is. Efron blaming Massey and the FIA, but what about the Merc strategist leaving Hamilton out on the world's oldest tyres? This is, after all, a team sport. Yes, thank you very much for reminding me of that. So, I guess, in terms of was Verstappen lucky, was he not? At the end of the day, Lewis Hamilton could have done the same thing. Lewis Hamilton could have pitted for a set of soft compound tyres and come out probably ahead of Max. But he didn't come in, and Mercedes didn't call him in, to my knowledge. So, a massive balls up on the strategy there. Massive balls up. They had to pit. If there's a safety car in that situation, you've got to pit. If you're in competition like that with another driver, you have to pit. There is no thought process that needs to be had. So thank you for reminding me of that. C. Oz says, great finish to the season. Congrats to Max and Red Bull Racing. Well deserved after a tough battle. By the way, to confirm, Mercedes are Constructors World Champions. Count Blast says, well, we've got next year. Fuck it, lol. Next year, hopefully, will be just as exciting. Carlos says, Max was a lucky guy today, must stand the safety car. Let me look at some other comments, if I can find some other good ones. Eugene Kelly says, Chazza, cut it out. Rules were not followed and Red Bull bullied him into starting that race. What you're not understanding is they should have let the lapped cars through earlier than they did. So there was no way they were going to keep the safety car out until the end of the race. Could you imagine the toxicity from everyone if they had just, left the safety car out? The track was ready to go. It was just Michael Massey operationally got it wrong. And yeah, on reflection, now that I remember the pit stop that Mercedes could have taken, I mean, yeah, in regards to the backmarker situation or the lapped car situation, yeah, the procedure, let's say it wasn't followed, but Mercedes got it wrong on strategy. They could have defended against Max Verstappen there if they'd pitted Lewis Hamilton, but they didn't. They made a massive mistake. Tonka says, sad that this season was overshadowed by FIA decisions. It is sad. The FIA and Michael Massey has been very, very poor. I have a donation from Count Blah, of course, a regular and an old timer, I'd say, of the channel, for $5, who says, so hopefully Massey got his helmet signed. This must have been his last race, right? Right? There you go. Take of that what you will. That race should have never been started over. Red Bull cried for that last lap because they knew Hamilton was on old tyres. The race should have been restarted anyway. If it wasn't, then it would have been poor on Michael Massey's part whether it was or wasn't restarted. So, everyone blame Michael Massey. There should be a review of that, Chazzy. You don't pass under a safety car. Oh, he didn't pass under a safety car. They had to clear the accident before they could release the lapped cars. I think they had already cleared the car well before, and they could have released them earlier. They just cocked it up. Penguin Ed says, you're so right. This would have been way less of a mess if Massey had just done this quicker and not changed this decision so late in the lap. I'm pretty certain if you go back and look on lap 56, I'm pretty sure, maybe I read it wrong, but I'm pretty sure I saw a message from race control on the TV screen on lap 56 that said, lapped cars may now overtake. I'm pretty sure I saw that. If it said may not overtake, then, then forgive me for being wrong on that. But that's what I thought I saw at the time. Let's look for some other comments here. See, Oz says, I think the lapped car was the only decision to make for Massey. He got them racing. Hamilton should have gave the position back at the start, but Karma worked its magic. Massey called a legitimate safety car. What else do you do when a car is stopped on track? Exactly. The safety car was absolutely legitimate. There's no doubt about that. Hamilton had no option to pit because he would have lost track position. I'm not sure he would have, because I think he had enough of a gap to Max. And remember, Max, if Lewis had pitted or not, Max would have pitted without, like, it doesn't matter what Lewis would have done. Max would have pitted no matter what Lewis would have done. So all Lewis had to do was pit, and he would have covered off whatever Max would have done. That's all he had to do, but they didn't do it. Apparently, David Croft is saying on Sky Sports F1 that 2 protests will be launched. The salt is accumulating, guys. It is accumulating. Let me just have a further look on Twitter for further clarification. Let's see if there's any news or official news about that, or if there's any other news. There's some interesting trends on Twitter. That's all I'm going to say. The words cheating, the words rigged on Twitter. I completely disagree with those statements from people on Twitter. I mean, most people on Twitter are absolute idiots anyway. But the race should... This is what we need to make clear. The race should have got underway anyway. Michael Massey should have got those lapped cars unlapped sooner than he did. So, without a doubt, it is Michael Massey's fault. But I think what happened in terms of the race being restarted was the right decision. And yeah, Luke Smith just saying Mercedes has lodged a protest with the FIA. So there you go, that's official. So Mercedes are protesting the results of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. I don't know what would happen if the protest was successful. Would Hamilton be given the win? I don't know what would happen in that situation. Would it be, the results would be what they were on lap 57? We'll have to see. Count Blast saying, I'm not going to knock Mark for the protest. I don't care about the results, though. I'm a Hamilton fan, but Massey needs to be pressured out for next year. Everyone agrees on that. I think that's the one thing everyone can agree on, is that Michael Massey needs to go. It would be a shame, though, if what do you call it? If, there was to be a penalty a lot later on after the final race, because, like I said, getting the race going again was the right decision. It's just that Michael Massey absolutely ballsed up the procedure and didn't get the lapped cars moved out of the way quick enough. That's what the problem is. It's not that, they wanted Max to win and all of this. I don't think... I mean, they wanted the race to get going again, but I don't think it's a case of, rigged or anything like that. I think that's just absolute nonsense, to be honest. People on Twitter saying orchestrated ending. And to be honest, on Twitter, though, one race people are saying, oh, well, they're biased to Lewis. The next race, they're biased to Max. So you can't fucking win, can you? Mercedes won Constructors, Max won individual title. I mean, it's a win for both sides. Done deal. Not all the overlapped cars were allowed to unlap themselves. This made a difference for the safety car to exit on the penultimate lap. Why does Michael Massey need to go? Because Red Bull won? No, because he gets big decisions wrong a lot, such as, not getting the lapped cars out of the way quick enough and, getting them over, having them overtake the leaders to unlap themselves. That should have been done a lap earlier. Of course, what happened in Saudi Arabia was just amateur hour. The incident between Norris and Perez earlier in the season I thought was pretty poor on him. I still don't understand how that was a penalty for Lando Norris, because I don't really think Norris did anything back in Austria. Then you had this incident in Brazil where Max clearly pushed Lewis off the circuit but didn't get a penalty. Yeah, Michael Massey's just, Dunny Dunn says, as a fan of F1 and not a fanboy for either Max or Lewis, I really enjoyed that season. It was fun. Yeah, me too. Like I said, I'm not a particular fan of any driver or team. I just want an exciting Grand Prix, which is exactly what we got. And yeah, what a season it has been. And it may not be over yet. If they didn't want Max to win, why no investigation for the Brazil situation and pit starting practice in Saudi, asks Roosevelt Davis. Derek Tate says, can't change the rules to suit one team. Yes, there was a message on screen for cars not to overtake. Very disappointed with that last second call. Yeah, Michael Massey, I don't understand what he was doing. The track was fine. The cars could overtake and unlap themselves. There was no other danger on circuit. I don't know why he waited so long to unlap or to start the unlapping process. It makes no sense. He should have been doing it as late as lap 56. If he wasn't going to do it as late as lap 56, then, chuck out a red flag. I don't know. But if you want to, make sure the race... if you want to make sure the race has a racing finish, I guess, but it's just very, very poor from the people running the show, I guess you could say. Alex M asks, can they take this to court and appeal this? Or, as we know, the rules state they are supposed to let all the cars that Lewis lapped, so he clearly broke the rules made by themselves, the FIA. Yeah, well, they're currently protesting the result. Just reading Twitter. Hamilton yet to emerge on the Mercedes hospitality to do post-race formalities. Not sure we've heard the last of tonight. Mercedes, and again, confirmation, Mercedes have protested the classification established at the end of the competition. I'm guessing that means the championship and the race. But I think what we'll do is we'll quickly go through the rest of the teams and then we'll get back to this. So, Ferrari, Carlos Sainz, great drive by him. P5, he started on the grid, got a great start, and really was one of the best drivers today. You could argue was one of the drivers of the day. Maybe the driver of the day was Carlos Sainz, finishing in P3. I think his third podium of 2021, and he does deserve it. He's been so good in the second half of the season. Charles Leclerc, I have to say, Charles had a pretty erratic, and I'd say for his standard, poor Grand Prix, if I'm being honest. I think Leclerc does need to, in comparison to Carlos Sainz, and don't get me wrong, I do rate Carlos Sainz, but he does need to improve, because if Charles Leclerc is indeed at the level of a Max Verstappen or a Lewis Hamilton, then he should be beating Carlos Sainz most times, and he just hasn't been really this season. So, yeah, I think, honestly, pretty poor Grand Prix from Charles Leclerc. Great for Carlos Sainz, though, and of course, Ferrari secure third place in the Constructors. McLaren, bit unfortunate for them. Obviously, Norris was the first car to not be allowed to unlap himself, which is a shame for him. He also suffered a puncture towards the end, which was obviously very bad news for him, because he was running up in 5th place, and if he had not, that's the thing, if he had not had that puncture, he wouldn't have got lapped, and he would not have ended up finishing where he did. Probably would have finished in 4th place. would Lando Norris if he not had that puncture. So, a shame. For the Brit and Ricciardo, poor weekend. Ricciardo really has to step up his performance next season, and I think he probably will. McLaren 4th in the Constructors, not terrible, still a good season, but it could be better, put it that way. And then, rest of the teams, Alpine, good finish for them. 4 points for Fernando Alonso, despite Alpine getting 5th and 6th in the Grand Prix, which I have to say, great result for them. And I'm very happy for Yuki Tsunoda, for him getting that result, because he has deserved it, in my opinion, that type of result. It's been coming for him as of late. Just checking. So, yeah, Alpine have confirmed 5th in the Constructors by 13 points. So that's good. There for Alpine. Good. I think good pace. Could have been better. Fernando Alonso had a bit of a scary moment with Yuki Tsunoda, where he eventually locked up, went wide, and then Tsunoda repassed him. I don't know if Alonso's slow pace is related to that. Maybe it is. Maybe it was a locked tyre that, did that for Fernando. And if that wasn't, if that didn't happen, and Fernando was able to be much quicker, you never know. Fernando could have ended up in 4th or 5th place towards the end of this Grand Prix. Ocon retired, by the way, at the very end during all the chaos, but I didn't actually see what the reason was. Decent result for Alpine. Not a terrible season, but it should have been much better, I think, for Alpine, considering the potential they have. And then, for AlphaTauri, 5th and 6th. A shame that they will finish 6th in the Constructors. AlphaTauri, I think, have been better than Alpine this season. They have had the quicker car, but Alpine have had the better, the big results compared to AlphaTauri have just been better. So that's why Alpine are going to be in 5th place, of AlphaTauri in P6. Sebastian Vettel finishing in 10th place for Aston Martin, really only finishing P10 because of the chaos. Good job by him to somehow nick a point. And then quickly, Alfa Romeo finishing with both cars retiring from the race. Don't know what the problem was, but it did look to be similar, the problem at Alfa Romeo. And then, of course, both Williamses retired from the race. Latifi crashed out, and Russell had a problem as well. That looked kind of similar, to be honest, to Giovinazzi and Raikkonen. And then, of course, Mazepin didn't start because of a COVID test. And Mick Schumacher finished last of all the runners in P13. But back to what happened up front. So just reading some more from Twitter. So Nib is just sending me some screenshots that I'm gonna read out now. So I read out the previous one that Mercedes has protested the classification as established at the end of competition. There's also a protest against Verstappen's car from Mercedes that will be heard by the stewards now. And then the one against the classification will be heard in about 25 minutes' time. And then the next screenshot he sends is Mercedes are protesting Max over Article 48.8 relating to overtaking under the safety car. There was a brief moment where Max did go ahead of Lewis, but Max did let Lewis back through, so I don't think there'll be a problem with that, to be honest. And then, Mercedes protesting the race classification. And no comments from Mercedes officially until hearing is over. But okay, it's Article 38. They put the wrong number. Okay, so there you go. That's the situation at the moment. And I guess we'll see what happens with this. Let me just have a look at Twitter to see if there's any new news other than the protests. To be honest, guys, I think it might be a long night and a long few days, so I don't think I'm going to really be sticking around forever on this one, because I think I don't think this will be decided in the next hour, put it that way. I think this is going to come out later on in regards to, what the punishment, I guess you could say, is in regards to Max and Lewis. Roo saying in the chat, yes, Max passed Lewis for a second under safety car. I saw him, he backed off, but being side by side was also shady. I don't think he'll get a penalty for that because he let him back through. That's just, I think Mercedes are just being petty with that one. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the race classification, ends the way it is. I wouldn't be surprised at all. And yeah, race control's decision making just absolutely brain dead. I think that's the best way of describing it. Bonebox Chicken says that safety car decision was manufactured and wrong, but so was the first lap incident that Lewis gained from. The stewards created drama with their incompetence for clients' clickbait. I don't think Lewis did anything wrong in that first lap incident, and I think, like I said, the race should have got going again, but Michael Massey, for some reason, just, I don't know. I don't understand why he didn't get the race going again. Maybe he was talking to someone, and time passed him by, and he thought, "Oh shit, we need to get these lap cars out the way." I don't know, but yeah. Demetrius Wilson says Mercedes is just getting sour grapes. Massey really does need to go. I hate people. I hate calling for people's jobs, but it's necessary here. I mean, to a certain extent, I do too. Even though Michael Massey, he's well paid. It's not like he's going to be broke if he loses his job. But if you are clearly incompetent and out of your depth at your job, no matter what job it is and no matter who you are, you should not be in that job, period. Because you will, then you'll fester an environment where the standards for your workplace are lower. And the standards for the people working at race control are way lower than it, used to be. Absolute zero chance they take the title away now. Right or wrong, what happened at the end? Let me see if I can get that comment back. Right or wrong, what happened at the end? You can't do that now. Let me see if there's any other comments here. Roosevelt Davis says he would want the title, but the satisfaction of how the title was won would leave a bad taste in his mouth. If there was gravel on the outside, Lewis would have had to concede position. I mean, I understand why people make that argument, but there wasn't gravel there. We can't, we can't pretend the track was different and say, well, if there was a wall, he would have backed out. There wasn't a wall. Or, if there was gravel, he would have backed out. I mean, again, no, he wouldn't have. Or, no, it doesn't matter. That's what I'm trying to say. Sorry, I'm in another Discord server. I just got to read this meme out. It's so funny. Someone asking, explain the ending to F1 in football terms. And this is someone's explanation. Hamilton was beating Verstappen 7-0. Then the ref decided next goal wins, and whilst also sending off 4 Hamilton players to make it interesting. Oh my god. I'm sorry, that is funny. Hello to Ronan Brady, by the way, in the chat, who says, "Hi, Chazza. Congratulations to Max. So funny seeing the crying of Hamilton fans. Things even themselves out over a season." Yeah, I think as well, we do have to remember that Lewis Hamilton isn't exactly the most innocent person this season. Of course, he took Max out in Silverstone. I think the penalty he got was the right decision, even though he didn't really get a penalty that race because he won the Grand Prix still and Max was in the barriers. So, Lewis has not been an absolute saint this season, and I'm hoping there isn't now a narrative online that, the FIA are desperate for Red Bull to win. I mean, well, last week it was the FIA are desperate for Mercedes to win, so who knows? Let's read some other comments here. Phonebots Chicken says Lewis didn't do anything wrong and Max should have been nose to tail. Not a second down the road, the sudden change of mind over letting some of the cars through smells of media hype. Ronan Brady, funny how people forget that the red flag helped him to win at Silverstone as well. And as well, the red flag at Imola helped him to finish in second because if there was no red flag, he would have been a lap down and probably would have finished in like 5th or 6th, probably at best. Sets the stage for 2022 rather nicely. Hope the formula is nice and competitive in 98 days. It should be. It should be. I mean, this season it's been very competitive, and next season it should be, I think, pretty competitive as well. We've got some pretty strong teams, pretty strong drivers, and some good-looking teams, like I said, out there looking to make improvements. Thomas Nordbo says, it's like you're running a 10,000 meter race and then it starts to snow at 9,999,000 meters. I think I've got that right. So they restart it and have a 10-meter sprint to decide the winner. Let me see if there's any other comments here I can read out quick before I go and look for some more news relating to this. Hamilton not at the post-race press conference, Nib telling me in my DMs. The thing is, as well, because Michael Massey is the one who, orchestrated all of that. What was I going to say? At the end of the day, given how fresh we are from the race finishing, is Michael Massey really going to sit there and go, yeah, I was wrong, don't worry, Hamilton wins? I honestly don't think that's going to happen. And if they want this overturned, honestly, I think they're probably going to have to go to the FIA, was it Court of Appeal in Paris? They're probably going to have to do that if they're going to get this overturned, because I don't think Michael Massey's going to be like, yeah, sorry, I was just having a bit of banter. Anyway, you win. I don't think that's going to happen. And like I said, I actually think the result we got in terms of the rules and fairness, if Michael Massey lets those lapped cars through a lap earlier like he should, then I think the result we have got is the fair one. It's Michael Massey who screwed over everybody. Not just one side of the aisle, he screwed over everyone. No way the FIA overturns their decision. Yeah, I don't think they're going to, given how recent... Sorry. Given how recent, it is. Crystal Racing saying the FIA, Massey and the Liberty Media need to be investigated. Robert Bailey, far too much cash involved in F1 now and open to corruption, which we have seen in the end of this race. I honestly, I don't want to get into that, because we don't have evidence. if we don't have evidence, we shouldn't be saying that, that it's fixed or it's rigged or anything like that. Obviously, you never know in life in terms of certain things, but if we don't have evidence, then we shouldn't be saying that. And I don't think it was rigged. I just think Michael Massey just got it wrong in how he did it. How he, orchestrated that safety car period. Let me see if there's any other comments I can read. Also, I'll switch to a couple different pictures. There you go. Hamilton did everything right. He deserved to win, says Roger E. Like I said earlier on in the stream, Lewis Hamilton was the best driver today. There's no doubt about it. Hamilton deserved to win this Grand Prix. But, safety car came out at the absolute right time and led to, what happened. And like I said, all Lewis and Mercedes had to do was pit. And they would have covered off, they would have covered off Max Verstappen and his pit stop. Alex M sends in a super chat. Thank you very much for $1.99, saying at this point a crash would have been better. Probably. It probably would have been. And they did get pretty close to a crash at the very end there. Just trying to find any new comments that I've not read. CJ Ono 86, I think it is, says such a poor decision to end the championship. It was a hugely poor choice by Massey, and unfortunately, this could be decided off track, rules not followed by Massey. Yeah, it is a shame. It is a shame. The one thing we didn't want is the championship to be decided by, the stewards or Michael Massey. We didn't want that, but now it is going to be. I'm just going to quickly mute my microphone, then I'll just so I can just quickly blow my nose, and then I will get back to updating you guys as to what is going on. Right, so I'll just have a quick look back at Twitter to see what is going down, and I'll just actually quickly, as he's still online, just going to ask Nib when he thinks this will be resolved. Solved in the next. He'll probably say no, and to be honest, I agree with him if that is the case, but I think he probably has more access to information at the moment because he's on Twitter than I do. Dusko Tech says, controversy is exactly what everyone wants. Nobody's been interested in a final race in a decade. And Nib saying no idea. Yeah, hard to... it's hard to say really, when this is going to be decided. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to come off. The reason I'm going to come off is because I will actually be covering whatever comes of this very, very soon. Because I need to now, before I head off, I'm going to now announce to you guys what the plan is for content over the winter. So I'll just move on to a different picture quickly. Hold on. There you go. Last winter, there wasn't, I don't think, any content over the winter. That will not be the case this year. So we'll get on to January and February and what the consistent content will be per week. But the plan for between now and New Year is, so I, guys, will be live tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. UK time, where I will be conducting basically my season review. I'll be, secondly, reviewing, the midfield teams and how all the teams got on and why, certain teams finished where they did. That'll be the second topic of tomorrow's stream. The main topic, though, will be Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen's World Championship battle. That will be the main topic, like I said, of tomorrow's stream. I'll be going live at 8 p.m. UK time, and it'll be a pretty long stream, so make sure to come along to that and hit the notifications bell, and make sure as well you subscribe, so when you are notified, you can come along to that stream tomorrow at 8 p.m. UK time, where again, I'm going to go over Hamilton and Verstappen, the whole title fight, my entire thoughts on it, so I can put it to bed. And if there is any news in regards to, Hamilton is world champion, then of course I will get into that tomorrow evening. And then, after that stream is finished, I'm going to record the stream at the same time, and then there will be certain stream clips that will be uploaded from that stream, because of course not everyone is going to be able to watch a massively long stream. So there will be, after that Monday stream tomorrow, there will be a couple videos in the week, probably on Tuesday and Wednesday, that will be, say, stream clips of, say one part will be me reviewing the Hamilton Verstappen fight, and then the other one will be the midfield fight. And then after this week, over Christmas, of course, there will be no content, because of course it's the holiday period, and I need to rest. I mean, everyone needs to rest given the year it's been, not just in Formula 1 but life in general, with COVID and all of that. But then, guys, starting on the 10th of January, going up until probably the middle of February, I will be doing one live stream a week, and there will be stream clips from each stream, because each stream is probably going to be quite a long one. And like I said, there'll be stream clips from every stream, so there'll be probably 3 videos a week, like I said, between the 10th of January and about Valentine's Day. And then, when it comes to pre-season testing, the first test in Barcelona, the first 3-day test is not going to be on TV, so I'll probably just do a basic roundup of, the times and the news of that test. And then when it comes to the second test, that will be televised from Bahrain. And my plan at the moment is to only go live in terms of a watch-along for the final day of testing, but we will be doing some stuff on the first couple days of the second test as well. But that is the plan going forward. So firstly, like I said, make sure, guys, to subscribe to the channel and hit the notifications bell for more content like this, because I will be live tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. UK time to go over any new news regarding this controversy, and again, to review in its entirety the amazing battle between Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen in the World Championship, and then to review as well the battle in the midfield. So if you want to come along and give your thoughts and have your thoughts heard and read out, then make sure to come along to that stream tomorrow. And then again, after next week finishes, then there won't be any content until the 10th of January. And then when the 10th of January comes around, there'll be plenty of content to keep you guys entertained until, cars get revealed, and then pre-season testing starts in Barcelona. So like I said, plenty of content coming your way, and I am very happy to be, doing plenty of content over the winter to keep you guys entertained. So that's the announcement, and hopefully you guys will come along to all of that content. But guys, that has been it for the race reaction stream here, and that of course is it for the 2021 Formula 1 season. What a season. For me, it's been the best season I've covered on this channel. I've been covering Formula 1 on this channel since, 2018? I mean, I've had other channels back in 2017 and 2016 where I covered Formula 1, but this has definitely been the best season in Formula 1 that I have covered for YouTube. So I've really loved it. It's a shame I didn't cover every single Grand Prix. I only missed, 4 races this season, which I think honestly is pretty good. because I honestly could have missed a lot more given how I was feeling at certain parts of the year. Next year, of course, is a 23 race season. It starts the season, I think, a week earlier and finishes a month earlier. So going to be plenty of races next season, and I'm looking forward to next season. But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming to every race reaction, race preview, practice watch along, qualifying watch along, race watch along. Honestly, thank you guys so much. It's been great to have you along for all of that. But again, it doesn't end, because again, I'll be live tomorrow night at 8 p.m. UK time to review everything from this 2021 Formula 1 season. So don't forget to subscribe, hit the notifications bell for that content. You can subscribe at the bottom right of the screen by clicking subscribe right there. As well, smash the like button and share this video and channel everywhere you can. And as well, don't forget to join my Discord server, link below in the description. That is the best place that is for notifications of my videos and streams. And also, we have, 400 or so people in the chat, in the Discord server, sorry. So, it would be great. It really, really would be great to have you in our growing community. But guys, just hold on, just reading something. Christian Horner has said, "We are disappointed there's been a protest, but we trust in the FIA." That's the latest comment from the team boss of Red Bull. But yeah, guys, make sure to join me tomorrow night, 8 p.m. UK time, and we will go through it all. But until then, and for your Formula 1 season of 2021, it has been me, Chazza HD. Goodbye.